Oh, sorry, I was just dozing off there. Have any of you ever experienced where your students don't seem to be super engaged or just kind of daydreaming, possibly falling asleep? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about a way to help prevent that from happening from being a teacher leader and teaching Kagan Strategies. So, Kagan Strategies help engage all students. They get them up, they get them moving, and definitely all students, any kind of high, medium, low, doesn't matter, any kind of group, they engage all of them. So being a teacher leader, you are supposed to make the community a better community in the whole school. Teaching these strategies really does this, and it involves all students, and if you get all teachers on board, then you can kind of make it go from one grade to the next. This can be used for any grade level, even up to adults. This can be used for any subject, and you kind of just make it go with whatever your content. So, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. So, on the Kagan website, it states its mission statement, and that says, Kagan develops and shares revolutionary instructional strategies proven to boost engagement and achievement. So, along with that, it shows the research done with Kagan and how it improves academic achievement, improves ethnic and race relations, improves social skills and social relations, and increased liking for others, school, and oneself. There are additional professional development that is available, and it is also located on the website. So they do have special workshops that you can go to and learn all about Kagan, even more than what I'm going to tell you today, and how it works and everything behind it. So there are so many different Kagan strategies, and there's a lot of studies that support these strategies and how they really help students of all academic levels. So there are a bunch of different strategies. Some of them use preparations, a lot of them don't. And so when you're kind of, you're teaching and you notice that some of your kids are not engaged and they're daydreaming and you want to get them back, you can pull one of these strategies right out without preparation and do that right away. Some do involve preparation, of course, and so you will have to plan that a little bit more accordingly. So let's first start talking about the seating arrangement. So for Kagan, they suggest that you have pods of 4 desks. So each pod is 4 desks. Of course, we're going to have the odd number sometimes, and so sometimes you might have a group of 2, sometimes you might have a group of 3, and so there are other ways to deal with that as well. And what you want in this group of 4 is you want a high student, a medium low student, and then a low student. And the way that you arrange this is like so, medium, high. Okay, so this is how you can arrange, and they color coordinate it, and they also have numbers that can go along with it that go along with different strategies, but we don't have enough time to talk about all of that today, so I'm just giving you the gist. But you have your high, medium, low, medium, high student. So whenever you can possibly get all your students to be engaged, you can say, okay, and ask them a question, and you can say, I would like you to talk to your face partner. And so your medium is going to talk to your medium high, and your medium student is going to talk to your low student. And then you can also say your shoulder partner. So your shoulder partner, you have your high and your medium, and then your medium, high, and low talking. And so this is a really good way to make sure that all kids are participating to one another, and then also listening to one another as well. So this is the basic format for setting up your classroom in the Kagan way. So there are other different strategies. I talked about them having numbers and using on a rotation. There's a round robin. So this round robin strategy is talking about each person having a certain amount of time and answering their thoughts on a topic. So I want to put this in here. You should always go over all the rules of each strategy before you practice them. And if you're practicing one for the first time, you should make it a fun experiment. So instead of making it with your content, like let's say math, instead of making it with addition, you should make it with like zoo animals or something that is more fun for them to get a practice round in. Okay, so maybe let's go ahead and do a round robin of naming animals at the zoo, and then you're gonna time it. So then you're whatever, let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, your number ones are gonna go first and followed by 2, 3, and 4, and then you're just gonna keep going until my timer goes off. And so we have zebras and giraffes and elephants and alligators, whatever, so on and so forth until the timer goes off. So now that they practice it with the fun part, you can now go into your content and have them go from there. So that is one strategy, is a round robin. That gets all the kids talking. They have to actually listen to one another to make sure they're not repeating. And so it's a really good way to make sure that everybody's participating. And you as a teacher are walking around kind of hearing what everyone else has to say, you know, answering any questions if there are any. Hopefully not though, before they get started. Another one that I use all the time is stand up, hand up, pair up. Now again, this is one that does not have any preparation at all. And you again want to go over all the rules before you begin. I do this a lot of time with vocabulary and reading, but you can do this with, again, any content at all. So, I mean, science and social studies, anything. And what you do is you explain the rules. So for hand up, stand up, pair up, you would say, okay, I want everyone to stand up, and you're going to put your hand up, and you're going to walk around with your hand up. No, you are not doing T-Rex arms, you're not doing drive-bys, you are not tailgating, but you are walking around, and then when I say pair up, you get a partner, you slap their hand or say hello, good morning, or good afternoon, and then you listen to me for my instructions. So then I would say, the person with the bigger hand is going to tell me what the definition of comfortable is. So then they go and tell that definition. The other person is supposed to tell you if they're right or wrong, and you know, and then I can even tell the definition. I mean, you can make it really, you can put your own twist on it too if you want. And then the other person that did not go, they can say another definition. So by the end of it, you can say, okay, thank your partner, and they thank each other to show politeness, and then they stand up, put their hand up, and start walking around again until you or the timer goes off, and they find a different partner. So this is a really good way to get the kids moving, get them engaged with one another. Another strategy that provides no preparation at all, again, is inside-outside circle. So you have two circles. You have an inside circle where students are in a circle, or half of your students are in a circle and they're facing outside. And then you have another circle around it with the students facing inside. So you have a person facing another person. And so again, this can be done with any content, it doesn't matter, but you would ask a question, and then you would say, okay, I want my inside circle to answer this question to their partner, or vice versa. And then you can say, okay, I would like my outside circle to move 3 people to the right, or clockwise or counterclockwise, whatever you want. And then you would ask another question. Again, this gets the kids up, it gets them moving, it gets them communicating with all different students. And so it's actually really fun, and they love doing it. Another popular one is quiz, quiz, trade. This is one that you do have to prepare for, but it's a really great way to have repetition and to get great practice in. So I've done this with math and vocabulary before, and so I made on index cards questions, and then I actually do have the answer on the back. So if students do need help, they always have the answer. So again, it's kind of like a stand up, hand up, pair up. So they're standing up and they're pairing up with a partner each time, a different partner each time, and then they're asking their partner their question, and then the partner has to answer it, and you know, then the person who asked the question can tell them if they're correct or incorrect, and then it's the other person's turn. So they have a card as well, and they would ask their partner for their input or their answer, and then they can say good job, or actually this is the correct answer, and then they say thank you, and then they trade cards. And so now that what they were asked, they're going to be asking. So that's a really great one, and then you go and find another partner. It's important to make sure that that the class as a community, we do a little cheer at the end. They have these Kagan cheers. You can make your own up. You can also look up, there's so many, like wow, when you guys do a good job, or great. And so it kind of makes you feel more as a community. So it's really important to make sure that we get those cheers in as well. So you want to make sure that as a teacher or leader, you are offering help and going to other people's classes to see how they run. If they have any questions, always be available to answer them. Or if they want guidance, again, going and saying, you know, what they did really well or what they can improve with these Kagan practices. There are so many, there's so many more. It's a really cool, awesome instructional strategy that is definitely important and I think could make a huge difference in any classroom. So, in conclusion, as a teacher leader, I would want to be a classroom supporter and encourage other educators to practice these Kagan strategies. It is proven to help improve the classroom environment in so many ways in individuals' academics as well. So I wanted to thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you guys learned a little bit of something about Kagan, and I hope that you look into it because it's a really great instructional strategy, all the instructional strategies to use. And so I hope you got something out of this. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.